Hello, everybody. How are we doing? My first live broadcast in a long time here on YouTube, only because I just didn't know how to do it. I've worked it out today, and I've got a very special guest with me today on today's show. His name is Arthur Daly. How are we doing, Arthur?
All right.
Brilliant. And the reason I got Arthur on today is because he's a big fan of Fuller's beers. I quite like Fuller's beers. But I think the biggest thing is that Arthur has met John Keelan a few times, which I think his title is now Brewing Director, is it?
I think he's moved on for that. He's ambassador for the brand or something like that, hasn't it?
Ambassador for the brand, probably.
Yeah, brand ambassador, Fuller's brand ambassador. I should have looked it up what he is, but yeah.
Fantastic. So we're quickly up to about 21 live viewers. We haven't been on that long. So the subject today, of course, you've seen the title, Fuller's Smith & Turner by Dark Star Brewing Company. What's your initial thoughts on this, Arthur? When you read the news first thing this morning, what was you thinking?
I thought it was a bit of a shock, first of all. One, I didn't know Dark Star was for sale. And two, I didn't know Fuller's was in the market for buying. But when you look at it, it fits in a lot of their needs. They've suddenly got a lot more capacity because they're brewing to capacity at the Griffin Brewery. And they've got a bigger portfolio of beers now. And the Dark Star beers, you know, some of my favourite beers come out of Dark Star Brewery.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be good all round for everyone. They stress they're going to keep the Dark Star Brewery open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fit, to be honest. Some of the blog posts I read today are quite interesting. I think Matthew Curtis said that this shouldn't really come as a massive shock, because you have a look at Sierra Nevada Brewing Company in America. Fuller's are only a quarter of that size, so it's not. And of course, Sierra Nevada are classed as a craft brewer, with Fuller's being only a quarter of the size. This fits, doesn't it? It does fit.
Yeah, and of course, Fuller's can't expand anywhere. You know, they've got the Thames to the south of them and the Hogarth roundabout to the north of them. And they are constricted on that site in Chiswick. So if they need to expand for capacity, they have to go elsewhere.
Yeah. Fuller's have brewed an Imperial Stout. You were on the video with me. We reviewed that about 2 years ago, probably to the day. Very, very nice beer, brewed with rose petals, I believe it was, with Melissa Cole, wasn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Very nice beer. You've also got the Dark Star Imperial Stout, which is probably what they're most famous for, would you say?
Yeah, Fuller's ESB is what they're most famous for. Oh, sorry, Dark Star. Yes. Sorry, I was trying to look on the tablet as well, at the comments as well. Yes, the Dark Star. Yeah. I mean, years ago in a past life, I actually delivered beer to the Dark Star Brewery when it was in the basement of the Evening Star pub in Brighton.
That's it.
It was a tiny little brewery there, very compact, and then they expanded over the years there.
Fantastic, and of course, they're keeping hold of their pubs. I believe they got 4 pubs. Fuller's have got a chain of over 400 pubs. They probably didn't need them, did they?
I don't think 4 would fit in the portfolio, but then again, if 4 craft beer pubs are more geared towards craft beer, I mean, Fuller's have also got the back staff, the support staff that, you know, can support those pubs. And you also got to remember, it's a stable pizza chain that's half owned by Fuller's.
Okay.
So they are branching out into the craft market.
They've made some acquisitions of late. I believe 2 years ago they bought a cider company.
Yes, they bought one down in Cornwall, wasn't it, or Devon, somewhere that way.
Yeah, and that's doing very well for them. I think personally, I read the news, I thought about it, and I think it fits really, really well into their portfolio. They produce some fantastic traditional beers that still knock people's socks off, I believe. I mean, Fuller's ESB is a wonderful pint.
Yeah, Fuller's ESB was always one of my favourites. And in fact, there's some other good news coming out of Chiswick today, out of Fuller's. is their Chiswick bitter has been saved. It was looking like it's been dropped off. Um, you know, going off, not going to brew it anymore. But I saw a tweet from John Keelan, so they're keeping the Chiswick, and it's a fantastic bitter. It's a light bitter, at 3.4%, I think, and it's dry hopped, so there's plenty of flavour in there.
Yeah, yeah. I've also looking up on Twitter today and reading a couple of blogs. People not comparing them with your Magic. I'm talking about Dark Star now. Not comparing Dark Star to your Magic Rocks, your Cloud Waters. It just seems to work, doesn't it? It's a nice. What I'm trying to say here, they're very similar in what they do, albeit Dark Star on a much smaller scale.
Yeah, like I said, Dark Star probably more established. They know the market better. I mean, Cloudwater, those other breweries you mentioned, they're just producing a lot of new beers all the time, whereas it's a different setup with Dark Star. They are producing a regular, very good beers there.
Fantastic. And how much you've met John Keelan, as I mentioned a few times. It's one of the reasons why I've asked you to come on the show today. How much involvement would have John Keelan had in this acquisition, and why has he chosen Dark Star if that's the case?
I'm not too sure if he chose personally that, but I know he's been doing a lot of collaboration brews, which are available, I think, in Waitrose and online from Fuller's Brewery. And so he's been around and having a look at these breweries, and he probably saw an opportunity where Fuller's could come in. It's still a family-owned brewery, and you know that they have seen somewhere that they can come in and help Dark Star along.
Absolutely, yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. In terms of going forward, what I know a few years ago, or it was back in the early 2000s, I think they bought a company. George Gale, was it?
Yeah. What happened with Gale's is the brewery was up for sale, and the family just wanted out, and they would have sold it to anyone, apart from another London brewery, because they had a massive family falling out with them many, many decades ago. So they refused to sell to this company and sold to Fuller's instead. Right,
I see. So very different acquisition then, the George Gale acquisition.
Yeah, I mean the Gale's brewery was it needed a big upgrade in there. It was falling apart. Even some of their pubs were quite untidy and just needed tarting up. I mean, I remember when Fuller's bought that, a pub that Gale's was going to close down. They said, no, we're not going to close that one down. We're going to turn it into one of our pubs, and it fitted well in the Fuller's portfolio there.
Yeah, and of course, then they closed the brewery and they put all of the beers in house. How many of them beers are still brewed, Arthur? Do you know?
I think HS is still brewed. I think Gale's Prize Old Ale might still be brewed, but it's not a regular beer. I'm not too sure of the others. I don't actually see them that much. I think if I go to a Fuller's pub, I'm more likely to drink a Fuller's beer than a Gale's beer.
Right, okay. So the reason why I asked that, again, George Gale, they sold the brewery. Dark Star, and I want to reiterate this, they're going to keep their own brewery. Fuller's are probably going to leave this at arm's length, aren't they?
They've said they're going to do that. It's something that they can see fitted in with them, and they don't need to close it and brew the beers elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have any after you're looking at the comments on your tablet? Do we have any comments off anybody?
I'm trying to find it on the tablet. Is the problem? I can't seem to find the live feed. We are going out there, aren't we?
Yeah, we're most definitely live. If you go on my channel, I'll just do it again myself. I'll open up another window, and I'll see if I can do it myself to find if we have any comments. But what I'm worried about, if I'm doing it my end, I'm worried there might be some feedback issues.
Right.
Let's have a look. Oh, maybe there's a little delay in it. Well, we're definitely we've got 18 people viewing. We're definitely live. Unfortunately, I can't see any of the comments from you guys. What we'll do, Arthur will have a look later on at the comments when the video finally turns up. I'll have a look at the comments and we'll reply to you separately. But one more question I want to ask you, Arthur. Is this going to excite the Fuller's fans, the fans of their beers? Is this going to excite the Dark Star fans? Is it slightly controversial in any way whatsoever?
I don't think it's controversial in any way. I mean, like I said, I'm more excited that they're keeping Chiswick bitter. When I was in London last year, I really wanted a pint of it. I hadn't had a pint for ages. And I went to a couple of Fuller's pubs and was told that it's a seasonal brew now only. And that really disappointed me because, as I said, Chiswick is one of the best beers in the world, I think. And that has pleased me more than Dark Star. I like Dark Star beers, but keeping Chiswick, that's what I like to see.
Fantastic. One more question before I promise I won't keep you much longer. But is there any beers that you would like to see Fuller's and Dark Star brew together?
Oh well,
New England IPA, a double IPA, something wacky, or just keep it.
I don't like New England IPAs. I like my beers to be clear. I mean, I can't see what this fuss is about New England IPAs. Oh, let's not put finings in it and make a cloudy beer. I don't want to drink a cloudy beer. I like hoppy beers. I like clear beers. I mean, this is, I don't drink out of tankards. I drink out of glass. So I want to be able to see the light through the beer. I don't like New England IPAs. They're just a fad. They're going to disappear soon. I think last year was the year of the Saison. Everyone seemed to be doing Saisons. I had some very good ones. I had some very bad ones. But it'd be interesting to see what's going to come out this year. Don't think we've gone through enough of the year. Everyone's still going out after Christmas. So it'd be interesting to see what trend will be coming out this year.
Yeah. And but with that 20, we got about 25 people watching. Anything that you would like to see from Dark Star and Fuller's? Did you get that question? Did you get it?
Sorry, what was that?
So I said, is there anything that you would like to see, any new beer that you would like to see from Dark Star or Fuller's? What would you choose?
Well, not really. I mean, I leave it up to the brewers. They know what they want. They know how to brew good beer. I don't want to say which one I want to do, and I just enjoy trying them. So, and that's all the point of great love of beer is, you go into a pub, you don't know what's going to be on the guest pump and have that.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you very, very much for joining me today. I really enjoyed this broadcast.
I have got this to finish with tonight.
What is it?
So it's Don't Stop Pale Ale from Hillside Brewery.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a collaboration with my local pub up here, which is Beer Revolution in Hay-on-Wye. So, I stocked up on a few bottles of this last time I was there, so I'll be having some of this.
They've got some real good beers in Beer Revolution. They try and keep the rubbishy beers out, don't they? And they try and keep the good beers in.
Well, he couldn't even give away some of the rubbish beers he had from West Wales. I won't mention who, but I think you know the brewer. He couldn't even give them away. So they ended up being poured down the drain, which is, of course, where they belong.
Okay. Well, we're up to 30 live viewers now. We got the most people we've been looking for all for this broadcast for the last 20 minutes. Arthur, where can people find you? Where can people? It's Arthur Daly on Facebook, Brew Wales on Facebook. Go on, give your links out. Give you.
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm Arthur D, ARFURD, and that's probably the easiest way to find me is on Twitter.
Okay, and if you're in the South Wales area, pick up a copy of the South Wales Echo on a Saturday morning. You'll see one of Arthur's beer reviews. Yeah,
I write a column every week in a newspaper. So
brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Arthur. I'm about to do a few more beer reviews later on tonight. We're up to about 35 live views now. But yeah, thank you very much. Maybe we can do this again soon. Any other brewery acquisitions? I'll grab hold of Arthur. He'll give his valid opinion on it, and yeah, we'll see you later on in the year. Cheers, Arthur.
Cheers.
Thank you.